All right, welcome back to the 94th IWAR Gold Strategy Workshop. I'm Matt Riley, your host, and this is Michael Cook, your IWA expert on a cycle we will call the cycle of many tears because of all these drops to choose from.
hmm
Johnny B, you bastard.
Well,
It was so funny because when iron dropped and I was like, oh, 27, 26. And then steel dropped and I was at work and I took a quick little step outside, checked my phone. I'm like, what the? Oh, man, can't even help us. No help. This is going to be the old dart throwing cycle. And Dewey was checking in if we were doing it tonight earlier and he was like, hey, you guys, workshop. Oh, yeah. And he was like, well, I already made my picks, but I just wanted to see what you guys thought. Like, that's pretty good. I remember Frank Snow used to do his strats for the BRL like right after the cycle. Like he'd like be like, "Oh, I finished my strats." I'm like, "It dropped like 4 hours ago." Oh, I know. And he did pretty well here and there.
yeah,
So
I mean, like I rarely use the other feds to decide this one. So, like my iron was done after diamond because those last two don't really impact what I do.
yeah, and
I know
we
some people build off of, each fed. It probably has some merit to it, but yeah, I've done that. I'm a week or two ahead sometimes.
we did have the question from Derek L. Can you explain how the hold order listed on the state titles determines the winners?
Yeah, I can do that. So we talk about point flow where we want, our 43 to be at 15, then our 44, 44, 45, 45, and then the 26, 26, 27, 27, and so on. What they do on the state titles is they just jumble that order up. So like this New York here, let's make it a reasonable one. There we go. So you see how it's jumbled up to where
Right.
they're going to look at the overall 15 holds. So whoever has, the lower, say, there's only like two 501s, everybody else would be eliminated at 15. Then they would look at these 14 holds. So whoever had the worst number one hold in their strat, so very first hold, they would then lose. So typically you would see that, you would lose at 15, 14, 13. The way these are jumbled, though, it could be any hold that, starts knocking people off
Right.
once you get past the overall that they had. So.
I skimmed this list. I know I saw Punk Rock Mike, Agent 26.
Yeah,
I was
there
surprised to
was
see
several.
myself with Alex. I'm like, oh, or Axel, one of the Von Schnapps. But I saw uh, Arsenal did well.
Yeah.
Chameleon, uh, you know. And what's nice about this, in which I'm always puzzled by, is how they'll scramble other things, but some guys still win three or four state titles. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I entered everybody, and like the US champion had a really good 501, but I think he finished something like 32nd in his or something. It
yeah,
wasn't good.
yeah. I always joke about either doing like this time. Every one of my guys got one of a state, to compete
Yeah.
for.
Yeah, I did one
Uh,
for everybody just to get the 40,000.
versus the idea that enter because conversely, if I had entered the same wrestler into 40 states, would he have gotten 40,000 for each
No,
state?
no, he just gets it
See there,
once.
you see that
Yeah,
you
so
wanna
when
bump
they're
your
giving
numbers
a
up, Johnny
bonus,
B.
just everybody is that's how you win is just enter.
That's you make it that, oh, if you keep 40,000 per state, no, we're
Like
talking.
it's good to win, but the difference between entering and winning was 40,000 or 100. I guess I think you get 140 technically for the win.
Yeah,
I think they still gave you the 40.
right.
Um, so I mean that's a noticeable difference, but yeah, I mean that's a good injury prize that they did. So
So we are now for the 94th show. And I should mention that our cover for this episode, the cover of the when you click on the image, is
mhm.
brought to you by Catfish Rob.
Oh, is it the one
Catfish,
you put in the chat a week or two
yes.
ago?
Yeah. Catfish Rob's artwork. All right, so what shall we tackle first? The horrible back end or
Okay.
the horrible front end?
Yeah, neither one is good.
And this is
Uh,
again, don't forget, folks, this is a cycle where if you get a star, you get four
you get four.
stars,
Yeah,
not
so
one.
let's go over the front first and just
Okay.
outline it. So the issue is after we go over everything, there's still 256 options.
Oh my God.
That's a large number. We usually try to keep that down to 40 or 50, but
Yeah,
you're gonna have to make some big decisions to get that low. So how we got here to where we have this much,
right.
both of the feds so far did nothing to help. And the issue is if you also eliminate the third and fourth ago, and we're also seeing, well, I want to highlight that, we always have been eliminating the four ago. Three of the last four cycles have had a four cycle ago drop happen, including
Oh,
this one that just happened today. So I think we can still eliminate it, but something to keep an eye on could, start coming up a little more. But yeah, we've eliminated two drops that were already eliminated and two double drops. That leaves a lot still on the chart.
yes.
So
Johnny B.
yeah, we also took out 8 and 45 because that was two cycles ago 25s, and we know that
Right.
happens like 1 to 2% of the time. Um, and that leaves pretty much everything. It's 16 front options. Um, four, five, six, seven, eight. Nine of the 16 have one of the two 25s from two cycles ago.
Yeah.
And we had talked last cycle about we weren't sure if, that cycle where they redid it messed anything up. But after three in a row, it's always been a yes. And that actually did happen. So that was a good one. The thing is, though, every time we've had three in a row and then the yes, we have had a no after it. I don't know if
Yes.
that's just a coincidence, but we had, was it four or three? Yep, four. So
Yeah.
we've had four instances since we started looking at this, which was 71, a little over 4 years ago.
Yeah, I blame
That's
Larry.
happened four times in 4 years, and it's always been a no. Like I said, you have to make some kind of bold decision to get this number down. That could be the one to go. I don't know if it's just a coincidence that it always happens, but it has. So if you did that, you would be down to just seven options. Might be a way to go. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
we're talking.
what's unfortunate about, I feel like this cycle, I'm going to have a situation where instead of having a lot of possibilities at four stars, I'm going to get like one or two people where my wrestlers on stars. It's like, man.
That's where I've been. Yeah, it's like one out of four so far this cycle I've gotten it. What hurt me, and still, I did the double drops because they seemed more likely. But the two main double drops that would have happened, one was missing a 30 and one a 29. So
Oh,
that pretty much did everybody in.
yeah.
If you were going to do one of the two cycles ago 25s, it looks like hold 45 has the I call it a sandwich.
Hmm.
Um, but you see it's had it three times
Right.
where it's actually done the 25, hold goes up 25.
Right.
Up here has not happened, so
Mm.
seems like it's more common on hold 45. So if you want to keep them, that's probably the way I'd go. That would still at least eliminate, a couple for you.
Right.
What would they do? One, two, three, three. Uh,
Hmm.
but yeah, it's a tough one because you've got a lot.
How
I would
about,
say 28s probably aren't likely.
right.
It's been 24 ago. I know I say every cycle. What's the number? Is it 35?
Yes.
35. Yeah. Okay. See, I'm
Well,
starting to
I
remember
have
it
an
now.
alternate way to look at this. So,
Mhm.
playing as far as choosing which of these drops to look at, which of these drops have already hit this year?
Yep.
So, like 29, 28, I think
Oh,
it once, maybe, or none. I don't know.
yeah. One time on 29, 28. We've already had two 29, 27s, two 27, 26s, which both are,
Out
yeah,
of the
both of
running.
those
Yeah.
are gone. So that's why they're gone. Um, haven't had a 28, 27 at all. So you may narrow down into right here. And we said 45 would be the least likely. So maybe that's the one to go with. See that?
45 is least likely?
No, no, more likely.
Or more likely. Sorry.
So yeah, I mean, yeah,
28,
okay. So that
28,
doesn't
26
help.
went once, right?
You said 29. Yeah, everything but 28, 27, and 28.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so 27, 26, 29, 27 twice. No 28s yet. No 28, 27.
Hmm. I was just like, I always say when you get to a point where you're not really sure, you kind of go off of, okay, so the 25s, we looked at that. We looked at how long it's been since certain things have hit. Okay, how about has it hit yet this year? You know, so I'm just trying to like narrow it down because sometimes when it comes out of way, you're just trying to find that right. Um,
Yeah. And you see 2027 is one of the more common ones. So happened 6, happened 11, happened 9, happened 8, happened 4, happened 7, happened 4, happened 5,
mm,
4. So yeah, I think I would have, if I was doing anything in gold, I probably did talk myself into 28, 27. So I think that's probably the top, but
it's gold, Jerry, gold.
fortunately you can't eliminate anything here. So yeah, you got to pick something we've just talked about and focus in on it. So
It's
I think I
times like
focus
these,
here and then make that decision here. If I think it's a no, stay here. If I think it is the more likely drop of a 45,
right?
it'd be that. So that's probably what I'd have to do.
I think the real root of this whole situation right now is Yadibwe was like, all right, the Hawaiian Heartthrob retained the BRL title, so we're gonna screw over Neil and make sure he can't retain by making him have to choose one strategy with all these combos. I mean, maybe it's not, but I was going, oh man,
Could
sticking it to Neil. There you go. Sorry, I saw he was at a Dodgers game the other day.
be.
And props to the Dodgers after some bad PR. Ice tried to go into the stadium today, and they were like, "Yeah, no, bye." Not good for them. All right, so back end wise, how bad is the
Yeah.
nightmare?
So all 16 are options, and it's gonna be tough to eliminate anything, but I'll tell you some things I think. Uh, so the inverse has happened off the 45s 4 in a row. I think we can safely put 90 as the 44 this cycle, and that's gonna flip. So the
Yeah,
easy part is that you have, the flow part right here, and that shouldn't be a problem.
right.
Now, the part I'm trying to figure out. So we know, pretty much it's the same it has been, 3 in a row where 42's hit here, 41's here.
Yeah.
And we know, doesn't really matter the order if, 42's here, 41's here. There's about a 50-50 chance it could be either one. And we're in this spot where, we had a lot of the 41's here,
Hmm.
5 out of 6. Then we had 5 out of 7. So I do think we'll be closer on the 41's, but the part that makes me a little suspicious this cycle, Diamond and Jade have had a lot of 42's,
Okay.
And so I'm trying to figure out, if this ends up being a 42, then both of those can be 41s. But if this is a 41, one of these will go a fifth in a row, which doesn't happen very often. They've had, one stretch here a few years ago. Um, so yeah, I think it's a 41 here, but these two just look weird to me. But
I'm leaning 41 if only
yeah,
because I'm going to try to take the points because I'd rather
yeah,
get that
that's the other
495
thing.
cheaply
Yeah.
than not get it at all.
Yeah, that's the only reason I had any stars in still because I took the 41s and they went to 43 and 44. So my backs were decent while the fronts were terrible. So I think I think it is a 41, but it's pretty close between the two.
All right. Now, how about these 44s and 43s though?
Yeah, that's the part that could be anything. You see when it's both the ones,
Yes.
it's not common that both ones are going again the next cycle. We have one instance here,
Hmm.
one here, one here, and then we had that pretty great stretch. Um, yeah, I think if I was going to gamble, I think I would gamble that the 42 or 44 to 43 2 wouldn't be it.
Mm.
Because I mean, you see, it's not happened in almost a year,
Yeah.
and if the last several cycles I was here, I was just betting it wouldn't happen, and it was working.
Mm.
That may be why I got my world title here. But I think if I was going to just eliminate something to get the list down, eliminate the 2-2 and maybe the 1-1,
Yeah.
they seem to be the least likely pairings out of this. So that would leave you with, the 44-1, 43-2, or the 44-2, 43-1. Um, so if you eliminated, let's see, so we're saying least
60.
likely to use together would be 63-85 and 73-62. So some combination of 63-62 or 73-85.
Yikes.
That would be my guess, just looking at that. Uh, Not exactly
Yeah.
perfect, like by no means is a guarantee, but I think by percentages, it's
Do you
more
have it?
likely than the other two.
Do you have them here like we have like 60, was it 65? I'm sorry, 63, 73. Do you have them listed that way by strength? So like strong,
Yes,
weak?
yeah, that's how I do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I always write it out that way just to have that quickly. So we had,
Oh yeah, 63's been hot for a while.
yeah, so here's 62 and here's 85. So yeah, 85 has been a pretty good hold. And I mean, 62 has
Almost
been
too
topped it
good.
all. Yeah. Yeah. It's not perfect, but that's what I would do. And then if you know, jumped in and had the 41s, that would end up giving you four backs. Because you could use, this one with 65 or
Right.
66, and then this one with 65 or 66.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you make that leap here and then you pick between 42s or 41s, like you said, lean a little towards 41s this cycle,
Yeah.
that'd get you to four backs, which would take this all the way down to 64. And then just, maybe eliminate the 28s. You see, you get down to 15. Maybe eliminate, the 29s if you don't think they're going, and then get down to eight, maybe four if you go all in on the 28, 27 that I thought was due.
Yeah.
We could get all the way down to 16 then. So.
There it
Yeah,
is.
cycle like this, that's kind of the big jumps you have to make. It's just go out on a limb on a few things that you don't think will happen and just cut them out. Don't even try to work around it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's got a lot of options, so I expect a pretty big variety of what people hit, but
Yeah.
I think you can still hit well in this. So yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, that's kind of. I mean, that's it's really it's all we can do right now. I mean,
Hmm. Yep.
it's almost like if we had fewer choices, we'd be able to spend more time breaking it down. But there's
Now
so
the
many.
the good news is so many choices this cycle. Next cycle, we know the back will be cut in half, and
Yes.
we should see a lot more of these get cut down because it shouldn't line up that well every cycle. So yeah, expect next cycle to start off much better.
Yeah. Let's hope. All right. Well, I think we'll call it a night. Like much like the Indiana Pacers up
Yeah,
99-72.
it's
We're going to game seven. I'm pretty sure I can say that. Fourth quarter, 7 minutes left.
yeah, yeah. I think you can make that bet. So
I don't even know if Scott Foster was refereeing this game or not, but Scott Foster, the extender, um, NBA ref.
oh no, I've read into it.
Yeah. It's just whenever he's like, up, this game's going an extra game, next series going extra long. But anyways, yeah. So I would say, guys, as always, if you have questions, suggestions, comments, feel free to leave them below. Like, subscribe, etc. If you have, I'll say this at the beginning when I put the comments in. But yeah, if you haven't watched the new How to Win in IWA Volume 2 video first, that kind of walks through all the basics in this, and it'll help you understand what we're talking about terminology wise. Because I really think the biggest thing in the game is just figuring out the holds as far as like how to see them.
Mhm.
And once you
Yeah,
get that, it's a lot easier.
yeah, because
Um, we
you
kind
look
of
at the back, you see your 90 holds, and
right,
once you realize how few actually mean anything, and then what they mean, it's much
right,
easier. You work
yeah,
off a small chart. Yeah.
yeah. So it's going to be a tough cycle, but the guys I feel bad for are the guys who run super small rosters because it's like feast or famine, baby. So if Hawaiian
Mhm.
Heartthrob does it again, I'm flying out to Hawaii to get you. That's all right. But yeah, this is the 4-star cycle. State wrestling results came out, and I'm trying to think what's going on next. I think it's Imagine Mania next.
They
Where's
haven't put it up, so I don't know.
all right. Well, we'll
Yeah,
figure
we
it out.
should see something. Probably next report will be what the prize will be for it.
Yeah, I can tell you I'm behind right now on my IWAR mag stuff. The cover's done, but the Super Show is enormous, or it's enormous as far as what I'm working with. Uh, so I'm behind on my TT and all that shit. But lots going on, so stay involved. I will be sending an email to IWA about who won what prize wise for the John B. Cup and the Murano Memorial. And Scott and I are planning to record the Lethal Lottery Tag Team Tournament drawings Saturday night. So that'll be posted either late Saturday or early Sunday. So you can see who's paired with who. Um, Next year, I'm definitely doing a dollar per wrestler because this year being like, oh, just enter whoever you want. Nightmare. So with that, I think we'll call it a night. You got anything else you want to add?
No, I think we've covered what we can. So,
We want to send get well wishes to Kenny Omega after his
yeah.
devastating attack at the hands of Okada. Just brutal. So, anyways, I'm having fun with wrestling right now. I'm enjoying it. Although I will say,
Mexico show was pretty good.
if
I
you
had
haven't had a
fun.
chance to watch the AEW show from last night,
Yeah, yeah,
did you watch it yet?
I did. Yeah, I watched it last
Okay,
night.
two
A
things real
lot of
quick.
fun.
One, how is Templar still alive? And two, how is the woman that Mercedes Moné wrestled still alive after that? I almost want to like, quick aside. Mercedes Moné, when she was Sasha Banks, I used to always give her grief because she would do topes and like catch her feet on the ropes and fall
Mhm.
down and be like, oh. And this woman, when she went for that dive, just head first into the floor mat. And then the guy, Templar, went to do one of those body slam moonsaults. And I don't know if he didn't realize how big Josh Alexander was, but that guy, like, I'm like, he broke his neck. And then he's like, gets up. I'm like, okay.
The part I didn't get, so they had Atlantis and Atlantis Junior on the good guy team. Nobody was booed more throughout the night than those two.
Yeah,
So
my
I was like,
favorite.
did they miss something?
Well, here's the thing about that. I was curious, so I went to Reddit and I typed in Atlantis and AEW, and sure as shit, it popped up in the AEW feed, and someone was like, "What's the deal with Atlantis getting booed?"
It was weird.
And someone typed in and said, "What it is he's Atlantis is considered Atlantis Jr. is a nepo baby, and they're kind of like forcing him down the fans' throats, kind of like Roman Reigns was. So he's getting that Roman Reigns chosen one heat." And they don't like that, and they don't like that Atlantis is kind of. They think behind the scenes he's making all this happen, which maybe he is. I don't know, but that makes a lot more sense because if you tell me like, well, it's kind of like Roman Reigns was, because if you remember Roman Reigns when before he was the tribal
Mhm.
chief and they were like Captain Hero, people booed the shit out of him. So that's what was going on with him getting booed because I was like, this doesn't make sense. And then when I looked it up and it was like I enjoy Reddit. Like for example, earlier today I went to the Red Sox Reddit and someone compared Rafael Devers to Nomar Garciaparra. They
Mhm.
both played 8 seasons. They got traded in the ninth season, and Nomar had better hitting statistics. Rafi was a little bit better in power. But the people below were just commenting about like, oh my God, I'm having flashbacks to 2003 and Nomad's better. Just terrible Boston stuff, but it was fun. Anyways, I enjoyed the show last night a lot. I was curious where they were going to go with MJF versus Mystico, and if I had to guess, they'll do a mask versus hair match at some big show when Max will lose his hair, because
You
that would
think
be
that actually
huge.
makes it onto All In?
Maybe
Oh,
they do. I mean,
yeah.
I
I
also
don't
like
know what
the
else they
fact,
could do with him that quickly.
yeah, well, maybe not that quickly, but they could do something where Max like beat him again, but then have it be a mask versus hair at some like Triple Mania or whatever. I'm not Triple Mania, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? One of those shows. But I will say, one of my favorite moments in wrestling ever was right after Kenny Omega won. I think it was the G1 the first time, and he came out and talked to the fans, and he's talking, and he stops, and he goes, "You guys don't know what I'm saying, do you?" And he goes like, "Ah, da, da, da," and he starts speaking Japanese fluently, and
Yeah.
no one, and the fans were like, "Whoa!" And it was such a cool moment. So when Hangman Page came out and cut a 5 minute promo in Spanish, I guess backstage word is that the CML people are like, "Can we please have him down here? Because that'd like be huge."
Mhm.
And I just think, why not? Like, I'm hoping he beats Mox.
Yeah.
Not that Mox isn't a good wrestler and all, but like that's kind of
Needs a change. It's
it's
time.
it's been long enough. And I have a coworker who's not a huge AEW guy at all. He doesn't like he's more WWE. But his thing and his point is valid. Is remember Mox's whole thing was I'm changing the game. Well, what have you changed? You put it in a briefcase.
Mhm.
Like I don't know. But I'm sure like every show they you go, what's going to be on the show going to be like, and then it's like a huge show and it's awesome. So we have time. So, anyways, that was our AW minute. Any uh any fan duel picks for you?
No, I've not. I don't bet on baseball because it's
I
too
only
much.
pick the home run things, but I pick like four guys and it's like $1 or $2. I do a small bet. I'm not a big better like that. Um, the last bet I hit on was John Hunter Nemechek to finish in the top 10 in the last NASCAR race, and he finished sixth. So I was like $30. So I was like, sweet. Um, but that's just on what I'll do for baseball, Bill. I'll pick like Otani, Judge, like Cal Raleigh, and like hold on, yeah, and like somebody else. And then if they hit, it's like let's say like $2,000, right? Because I pick the fourth
Mhm.
guy as a potato, but it's like a buck or two. And if they do hit, I win like even with that small bet, I end up winning like $800.
Have you hit one?
Huh?
Have you hit one of those?
No, but I one night I had a super close call, and I had gone to bed, and two of the guys had hit. And
So
in
probably have a
football,
nice
how like they
cash
have the
out.
buyout. I think it was Kyle Tucker hit a home run, so I had three out of four, and the fourth one I picked was like Aaron Judge that night, and he
Oh,
didn't hit it.
I bet
And
there's a cash out though that you could have taken.
the thing is, I fell asleep, so I'm like wondering if
Yeah.
I had been awake, I wish I could know like, oh, we would have paid you off this because it would have been like I think $899. I'm like, really, it was a good combo. Because I find like adding that potato guy is what is the kicker for the
Hmm.
money. Because like, if you pick like three guys who hit homes on all the time, it's like $200. Yeah, I mean, for like even for a $10 bet, it's $200. So for $2, it's like $30. Um, but I like for NASCAR, I like picking some schmoes to finish in the top 10 because that pays like usually 30 to $50. And it's fun to root for those guys to do well, you know? So, anyways, that was our FanDuel minute. And now we will bid you all adieu. So, good luck, everybody. I know it's going to be a hard cycle, but cross fingers, throw the dart, roll the dice, and we will see you in 3 weeks.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.